Mandy, don't kill me. I've only like known you as Mandy Ray. I don't know. Is it Rhea? How are we saying the last part?
It is Mandy Rhea.
Man, so there's no there's not like for instance lay it's Mandy Ray.
Yes.
I got you. Thank you so much. I was gonna do a big, massive intro, but I think at this point, when they see you, they know who you are. Okay, like Mandy, you're everywhere. I feel like you were born to MILF, so to speak, Mandy. But for anyone who doesn't know you, you're all over the place. Naughty America, Team Ski, the Bang Bros, everyone, and you're also an awesome influencer. A lot of social media. I feel like you have a gazillion viral videos at this point. Hailing from Colorado, down in Florida. Welcome to Attack the Culture.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Thank you so much for making yourself available. I have a clipboard. This is not a sports clipboard, but it's similar to one. So I'm going to go down to as many questions as possible. First and foremost, I have to know if we're going to slide into your DM, are we going to Hot Mom Mandy or are we going to the real Mandy? Which one are we actually sliding into for your DMs?
I think you actually slid into both of them.
Well, I'm asking generically. So for all the people who are like,
so I answer both of them. My main one, which is Hot Mom Mandy, got banned for a long time, so I created a backup. But I'm active on both of them.
Nice. And if you had, because I kind of got a feel for you already, like family, kind of like the real behind the scenes is going to be the real Mandy, and then I feel like kind of more on the professional side, and hey, I got a new shoot coming up. I feel like that's a little bit more geared towards a Hot Mom Mandy. Is that kind of how
Definitely.
it goes? Or
definitely. So the real Mandy Rhea, you get a little bit more into my personal life. Like I post my son on dirt bikes and stuff like that. But then the Hot Mom Mandy is 100% work and my dog.
Gotcha. Do we need Elon Musk to like actually buy Instagram now? Because I know people, it's all controversial, but like I know with Twitter now we're verified. There's no like all these like hoops that we got to go through. It's so much kind of more fun and kind of like the GTA world of social media because anything can go on there. Do we kind of like the fact that Instagram like kind of forces us to like come up with creative ways to post kind of salaciously explicit content, or do we need an Elon Musk to buy it up?
Honestly, I like Instagram the way it is, speaking as a mom, because
Okay.
my son is on Instagram, but they need to lighten up a little bit.
And we'll get going. Okay, all right. So, Mandy, we were talking about Elon Musk and Instagram and all this craziness, and about 25 minutes ago, you were saying being a mom and having a son and whatnot, you don't mind that there's certain restrictions on Instagram. Take it away.
You're correct. So we all have X. Everybody that's in the business has X and everything like that. So I feel like if you're wanting to post the risky, the inappropriate stuff like that, but as far as like getting the everyday dad, cousin, brother, uncle, you're going to find it more on Instagram than you will on X. Only a few people, few and far between, are actually on X.
You know what's so crazy, man? I feel now like, okay, this is a little bit weird, but I feel almost like Instagram is where Facebook was a few years ago. Like, remember, like before it was like Instagram was kind of like, like how TikTok was and whatnot, and Facebook was like, okay, that's the more friendly stuff. Are we phasing out Facebook, or are we keeping Facebook still like in existence?
Actually, my business Facebook is booming.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
the reels that I post on Instagram, I also post on Facebook, and I have more followers on Facebook than I do Instagram.
What about on Twitter though? Because I know on Twitter you're like 125 plus, like K.
And I'm super close to that on Facebook.
Nice. So we'll get rocking and rolling. Like I said, so many things to ask you about. I definitely want to hone in on the Colorado roots. I feel like you take a lot of pride. Is it Sterling, Colorado, about 2 hours away from Denver, somewhere in that area? Sterling?
It is. So think of a teeny tiny town. Like my graduating class had 8 kids.
Okay. What? Whoa, wait. All right, that was all valedictorians, or this is the entire class?
The entire class.
That sounds like Yellowstone type stuff. Tell me more.
So my school that I went to was called Caliche, which is in MILF, Colorado. And on one side you had a field, the other side you had a feedlot.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy. So, wow. So was Denver kind of pretty much like how New York City is for anyone in like the New York area? Like, oh my gosh, we gotta go to Denver. Or are there other areas? Because I think when people think of Colorado, think about the Rocky Mountains, Colorado Rockies, and you also think about Denver. So, kind of, what was Denver like for you, just in comparison?
So I competed in dance quite often. And so going to Denver was just like an every week thing. Um, it was a painful drive because it's 2 hours one way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Wow. 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 Got it. Got it.
so
So,
when you think of Sterling, so Sydney, Nebraska is like 15 minutes northeast, and then Kansas is like 30 minutes.
gotcha.
So like the armpit of the state is where I grew up.
Gotcha. Now I know obviously things have changed. How long ago were you in Colorado? Because I know you've been in Florida the past few years, right?
So 4 years. I've been here 4 years.
Got you, got you. So just kind of give me an idea of what that culture shock was for you. I know obviously I can imagine that you had probably traveled, especially with competition outside of Colorado, but you know, really having those Colorado roots and then packing up, going to a year-round sunny and cold as 40 degrees out in Florida, right? Just give me an idea,
Exactly.
especially someone like you that's maybe used to skiing and just kind of what life is like in Colorado, making that transition to Florida. What was that like for you and your family?
I would say my hardest is not having my livestock because I'm a farm girl through and through. I am looking at buying property so I can have a farm again. So I will never grow out of my country roots, but trying to adjust to like Florida has no fucks given. They don't care what your last name is. They
Okay.
don't care what you wear, what you look like. And I really like that because where I grew up, it mattered what your last name was. And it didn't help that my last name was very well known. And then my ex-husband's last name was very well known. So growing up and constantly always being under the microscope and everything like that, it was difficult.
Got you.
So that's probably my favorite thing about Florida. And I love the beach. I love the beach.
I got you. And you know what? It's crazy because I was thinking about like right when like about 2021, everybody was going to Florida, right? Especially with COVID happening, so many restrictions everywhere. I think that was probably my first big trip outside of like local stuff in the New York area was going out to, I discovered Venice, Florida, Sarasota, Venice.
Mhm.
And I love it because I'm just gonna be honest, it's filled with old people. Like young people don't really go to Sarasota, Venice. That's like where their grandparents are. So
Uh-huh.
I love it because it's like easy parking. It's not a Miami type of crowd. The beaches are always super chill. There's no waves. I discovered that, which isn't a big deal. I'll do the trade off for great weather. And I just gotta imagine being out there has just been. It does every day or every kind of week. You discover new things, or kind of 4 years in, you feel like you've discovered all Florida has to offer.
Nope. So we every single year, me and my son, we make a trip to a new kayaking spring. So we love to kayak. So we go to new kayak places every year. We have our favorites, but
Okay.
we go to new ones. And then there's just so much culture down here from back in the day to the spiritual world to you have a little bit of everything, and I love it.
Got it. How do you guys pick and choose where you're gonna go? Is it kind of like a Google search, word of mouth, or does your son just say, "Mom, we're going here. Let's make it happen"? How do you guys choose?
Actually, we had a couple of friends that lived in Lakeland, so we originally started in Lakeland.
Okay.
And then from there, I'm just like, this is too far of a drive from the beach. Mind you, it's like an hour,
Yeah.
hour 15. And then that's how I ended up in Tampa, and I love Tampa.
Nice. Nice. Now you kind of before we got this whole conversation going, you kind of hinted at a new home. We don't need the address, of course. We don't need fans running up on you, ask for autographs and selfies. But talk about the new home. Is this going to be the second place that you've lived at since moving out there, or have you kind of moved around Florida?
This is my second place.
Okay.
So
Talk about
um,
it. Yeah.
I love it. It's a little bit bigger. It's a 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, but it already has a pool in the backyard and a big ass backyard for the dog. So
Nice. And speaking of dogs, apologies because, like I said, I had this big clipboard, but there are certain key things that if I know that you reference it, I gotta bring it up. I know that you are a dog lover. I imagine your son is as well. Are German Shepherds the most underrated dogs? German Shepherds, how do we feel about them?
So he is my third German Shepherd. I actually grew up with Rottweilers.
Wow.
So I switched from Rottweilers to German Shepherds about 6 years ago, and they are amazing. Granted, mine is fully trained and everything like that for protection, because with me having to travel and stuff like that, I know my son is safe.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
he is the biggest lover to his family.
Gotcha. Now I'm trying to remember because obviously I've seen your IG. Does he actually go on some of those Yamaha trips or the motor cross? Now help me out. Is it motocross biking? Because I see a lot of MXs on there. Is that
Yep. So MX is motocross. He does a Yamaha dirt bike. So a
Okay.
lot of people call them dirt bikes. That's mainly what I call it, but MX has a different hashtag. So
Okay.
we'll put it that way. But yeah, he travels. He does a lot of AMA races, and that is his hobby. He gave up soccer to race dirt bikes.
I feel like he's definitely playing FIFA though. I feel like FIFA or the soccer games he won't give up on, but he will go over to this adrenaline rushing excitement that he's embraced. Huh?
It's so crazy because he was ranked as a goalie in Colorado in travel team, and then when we moved here, he's just like, I retire. I'm just like, what? But and you're not allowed to just sit at home and play video games. That's not like, you got to be active. So I'm just like, what are you gonna do? And he's just like, I'm gonna race dirt bikes.
Listen, I love it. Now, how has that impacted you? Because I know that you're obviously the biggest cheerleader for him, right? But as far as just in general, do you have that passion to kind of hop on there? Because with your profession and of course your physique, you do not want to put yourself in such a dangerous position. But do you feel like there's a couple like little hills or a couple of dirt mounds that I gotta try out, or no?
So with me doing what I do, I do not ride. I ride my little 110 that goes
Okay.
to and from the track. But I used to ride growing up. Me and my stepbrother used to race, so I know what I'm getting into. But I also know if I get hurt, the money's gonna stop. So
I got you. I got you. All right. So a few things that we gotta definitely touch up on. Let's talk about the expos. Are we exhaling a little bit, Mandy, with the expos kind of simmering down? Of course, there was Vegas, AVN, X3, so much stuff happening. You gotta like work up the energy to just with the fan interactions, the signings, the appearances, the interviews. Like talk about the expos and that culture.
So I'm probably the worst person to talk to about that, because I have really bad anxiety, and it takes a lot of my energy to go out there. So like this year, I chose not to sign. Like
Okay.
I made an appearance, but I chose not to sign because I value my energy. Granted, I love meeting all my fans, I truly do, but having multiple people, multiple days, it's just not good for my self-care. So I went and I made an appearance and I got photos and I saw my fans on my terms.
I got you. Listen, I love it. I love it. Yeah, definitely. Because I was going to ask you, and you kind of answered it right there. I was going to say, which is kind of more draining, doing the expos or like an all-day shoot? And I got to imagine it's the expos because there's so much unpredictability, just so much happening, right?
Mm-hmm. And like I'm super sensitive to smells, and again, I love all of my fans, but if you're gonna come up, please wear deodorant.
Yes, yes. Well, you gotta imagine these are people that must watch every single Mandy video in the world. Okay, they're going to be watching every single one, so they don't have time for good hygiene. You gotta understand that, Mandy. They need to watch at least 3 bazillion hours of your work before meeting, right?
Which is fine. Like I said, I love meeting all of my fans. As I was coming home, I actually met one at the airport and he had to get a picture with me. And I'm just like, absolutely.
Guys, deodorant, or do we not care to share if there was deodorant on this person? It was safe.
He had deodorant on,
Oh,
but if you come up, just know that I'm super sensitive to smells. Like I can smell stuff from the other room and I'm just like, what is my kid cooking? And so like
yeah.
I'm super sensitive. So deodorant, just put on deodorant and we can take all the photos you want.
Got you. So obviously, with tactical culture and adult culture, been focused on you for a while. But when I came across you showing love to Blazers, not this pair, obviously, but the Blazers. Can we just talk about this? Because at
I got
first,
them on. I got.
yes, and you got the Blazers on. I wish I could show you my closet because I literally like about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, I just said, you know what? These are my favorite sneakers. You can work out in them. They're
Mhm.
lifestyle. You can actually wear an entire suit and have Blazers on the bottom. Put them on the red carpet. I'm addicted to them. When did you fall in love with the Blazer brand, Mandy?
Probably about a year ago. Both me and my son love blazers. We have multiple pairs in our house.
Nice, 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 nice. And be honest, is it more? Because I mean, every time I see you in them, they look beyond clean. Like I feel like, okay, she just took them out of the box. And you're a dirt bike type lover, and you guys are in the outdoors, so you have a pair just for photo ops, or is it you just keep them really clean?
I just keep them really clean. So after we wear them, like I have a black pair, my son has a black pair, and like stuff like that. So like going to the track, we wear the black ones.
Yeah.
But I like them clean. I'm a little OCD when it comes to cleanness.
Listen, I love it, and of course, I definitely want to just touch up on, of course, your career and whatnot. And I'm kind of curious because it's interesting. I want to say like last year, I came across one of your videos, and then doing my research, I was like, oh my gosh, Mandy's all over the place. I mean, Naughty America, we have the Bang Bros, we have a gazillion Team Ski and MILF type of videos.
Mhm.
I have no idea how you're able to manage your schedule. There's so much content out there. Just give me an idea of when did this idea kind of come about? Like, you know what? Let me take a jab at this. And it seems whenever you started that, you haven't looked back.
So I have a nursing background, and then COVID kind of hit, and they wanted me to self-isolate. Well, my son's a mommy's boy through and through, and
Yeah.
so in order for me to self-isolate, he would have had to go back to his dad's house. And we had a long discussion, and he's just like, no, 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 like I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I had a little bit of cushion that we were able to live off of, and I'm just like, okay, well, what am I gonna do? And me and my best friend, we were sitting in her bedroom drinking some wine, and she's just like, why don't you start an OnlyFans? I'm just like, I mean, maybe. Like I have people on my Snapchat ask me all the time that pay me for photos, so
Yeah.
why not? And that's literally how it progressed. And then the bigger I got on OnlyFans, my agent reached out to me.
Gotcha. All right, all right. So I got to stop you right there. So when does the agent discussion happen? Because a lot of times, for the general public, they kind of just figure, oh wow, she just goes and books all these things. But obviously, there's a lot of behind the scenes. There's people that kind of you work with and you put your trust in to say, look, I can't shoot every single studio in the world. Like I need someone that kind of can provide me with the list, and I can kind of pick and choose from there. How did the whole agency kind of come into play?
So two of my really best friends are Peter Fitzwell and Naomi Fox, and
Yes.
they were working with an agent, AMA, and they're just like, "Hey, our agent would like your phone number," and I'm just like, I mean, I haven't really considered doing that, but let's see what he has to say. And I liked what he offered, and yeah, it's just been onward and forward.
Gotcha. And let me ask you, man, because I'm actually pretty curious about this myself. Is it almost like a sport in which, like, all right, from let's just say January to March, is the busiest, or in this line of work, could it be any time of year? It just depends on what a studio is looking for. Because, like I said, the content you created, it's I can't even keep count. It's all over the place in a positive way. I mean, and it's like, wow, how do you find the time? You're out there kayaking and doing all this fun stuff. Give me an idea. Is it more of a sport season or is it year round?
So, as far as like my mainstream work, I limit myself to 2 to 3 shoots a month.
Okay.
And then with my OnlyFans stuff, you are able to shoot with me Monday to Thursday. Those are the only days
Okay.
because Fridays and the weekends are for me and my kid.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And being actually an only child and kind of not the same story. I don't know if my mom has an OnlyFans, but bottom line is I absolutely love my mom and have that same close knit relationship as well. So I just completely love it. Kind of sticking on that, couple things related to your line of work. who is on the Mount MILF Rushmore? I gotta know because I said it earlier. I don't know if it got edited out or whatnot, which I would be editing it. So why would it be edited out? But I asked you, where I mentioned, were you born to MILF? And it seems like you just kind of entered this industry, and it's like when there's a MILF discussion, your name is right there. I mean, you're branded as such. And hottest MILF awards, all those type of accolades are just right there with your name on it. Who else is up there? Three other ladies that you feel okay? That's my competition, but it's also a peer that's up there with the Rushmore.
There's so many. Like I worked with Jennifer White and she was phenomenal. Like I loved working with her. And I feel like I need to get on her level because she was up
Okay.
for several awards, and then you always have like Reagan Fox and Brandy Love and Sophia Marie. Like they're the next step. And I will get there. I will get there.
Listen, I love it. I love it. And then for anyone that's just now coming across you and like, oh my gosh, I need to do my research on Mandy. Where do they start at? Are we going with the latest stuff? Do we start at a? Do we start at your OnlyFans? Okay, OnlyFans is a shameless plug. Let's not start OnlyFans, but on the mainstream, obviously the studio stuff that you shot for. Is there maybe a masterpiece or maybe just one shoot that you really want people to kind of look at that first, and then you can look at all my other work?
So it's really funny because one of my very like well viewed videos is with Johnny Love, and it was like my fourth video.
Okay.
And everybody, I get numerous comments of that's your best video, and I'm just like, I look awful. And, like I was so bad.
Get out
Because
of
I was still so nervous behind the screen, but people love it. Um, and then there's a couple that are just like they're good. But it kind of you can kind of see the transformation of me at the very beginning to me now of how much I've grown within myself.
Yep, and that was actually going to be my follow-up question to you, Manny. How much has changed since those first couple of shoots to now? Because again, I want to remind anybody that's watching this or hearing this or reading this that you started literally 24 months ago. I mean, it was such a like literally just so early on, and for you to have created so much content. And I am a little bit partial to Team Ski because they give me a lot of great interviews, but like I've seen all of your content on there, and it's like you get booked left and right. And I mean, it. I gotta be honest, it's very unheard of for someone to just kind of at least seem to get that much success so quick and early on. What is it? Did you step up to the plate? Do you never say no? I mean, give me an idea of what makes you so reliable and amazing.
One being I'm easy to work with.
Yep.
Like and two being I come to work. It's not a social, it's not a party, it's not anything. And I think that a lot of that is because one, I am a mom, and two, I have the nursing background. So when I come to work, it's for work.
Yep.
It's not and I know like a lot of people are just like, oh, you got to socialize and stuff like that. And that's great. But if I have a Friday off, I would much rather spend it with my kid than going to the bar. And because going to the bar with a whole bunch of performers isn't going to advance me.
I love it. I love it. Just out of curiosity, have you had a chance to connect with not so long ago I interviewed Chanel Cameron, and she kind of has a very similar story. She had a whole nursing background, and then kind of the same thing. She's like, you know what? Let me just give this a shot. And then kind of the same thing. I look at both of you, and you both really that 2021, 2022 just started igniting so much content. I just find it so unique. And all right, so that's the first question. Then kind of part two, do you notice a lot of women with similar stories, kind of nursing backgrounds, or is that more of a rarity?
So there are quite a few. Some are, and I don't want to diss like CNAs because
Sure.
they are the backbone of nursing.
Yeah.
Like if I had a solid CNA, like I would do anything. You want lunch? What do you want me to do? Because
Yeah.
they are the backbone of nursing. Like, yes, I may have a higher degree, but you're my eyes and ears on the patient. So I hate saying you have a lot of CNAs because I don't want to diss them at all.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I love my CNAs. Like they were my eyes and ears because they got to do everything that I didn't have the time to do. I see a lot more of like those medical assistants, dental hygienist,
Yeah.
a few LPNs, a few RNs, but I actually had my BSN. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
because in order to work in Colorado at a hospital, you had to have your bachelor's.
For
So,
sure. I got you. Few more things for you, Mandy. I had to ask you related to fitness because, like, you, oh my gosh, you versus the 19 and 20-year-olds, you're putting them to shame. Who pushes you harder for the workout goals, you or your son? I feel like you guys probably kind of, I don't want to say clash, but maybe it's kind of like rocky type of moments with the fitness goals.
actually, this is gonna surprise everybody. I don't work out.
At all, is it all about the healthy diet? It's got, and spoiler alert, gluten free. I know that much about you. Gluten
Yep,
free,
yep.
right?
So I'm gluten free, and I eat very, very lean. Like I do take my dog running, so I guess you could say I do some but like going to the gym, I don't do.
Get out of here. Gotcha. Well, okay, okay. I find that hard to believe. I might have to interview your son next, and we can just kind of cross check some of these things.
Oh,
So
he's gonna tell you that I am the napping queen. I love my naps.
let me ask you. So what is the masterpiece of a nap? Is it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45? I think I asked Alexa, and I think she said about 45 minutes, and then I think Siri said 15 minutes. So what is a typical the perfect nap for you, Mandy?
So I'm a napper, so I nap for like 2 to 3 hours.
That is sleep. I'm not considering that a nap. Okay, that's sleeping, Mandy. No? So 2 to 3 hours. Oh man, man. And you still have so much content. I gotta ask you a couple Colorado related things. What in the world is a Rocky Mountain oyster? What is a Rocky Mountain oyster? Please educate
So think of a testicle of it used to be a bull, but
me. Okay.
now it's a steer.
Yes.
So it is the testicle of the bull that you cut off and then you bread it and deep fry it. They are superb. They are so good.
Wow. You know what's crazy? All right. So I did a little Google search and I just started jotting things down. I did not look further into it. So without you telling me that, now granted, I feel like you're saying, Cyrus, you need to go and try it at some point. Just go try it. But that is going to throw people off. Wow. Oh my gosh. And then give me an idea. I'm in the New York area, so Colorado style pizza. I know Chicago style pizza. I know LA pizza. And then I know, of course, New York pizza. Right, Florida pizza a little bit because you got some Italians from New York that go down to Florida. But explain Colorado style pizza. It looks like this big, cheesy, yummy, soft bread. What is this? And I know you're gluten free.
So it really just depends where you go because
Okay.
Colorado, I would say Colorado has some bomb ass Mexican food. Like I miss it. So when I go back to visit, I eat it every single day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, because you can't get that type of Mexican food down here. Pizza, I wouldn't say that's their strongest suit.
Of course. Yep.
So if you go to the right place, they do have really good, but it's extra cheesy and you feel kind of weighted down. And some places in Colorado have gluten-free options, but it's
Yep.
not as common.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then Mandy, I gotta ask you, obviously, tattoos. We're embracing them. Are we stopping the tattoos? We have new tattoos. Or what is going on with the ink on your body?
Oh, we're not done. We're not done. We are not
Okay.
done.
I need this to be decoded. Sum it up for me. What is the latest edition that we have?
So we have my daughter's name right there.
Okay.
And then all of my flowers are a big part of me. So I have sunflowers, the lotus, which is like new beginnings and everything like that, because I am a recovering addict. I've been sober 4 years now. I celebrate my 5th year in May. And then my grandma was a huge part of me growing up, and me and her would always plant flowers. And she told me the day that she passed away that she was going to go home when the tulips bloom, but we thought she was going to go to her house, and she passed away that day. So tulips have a very significant meaning to me.
Get out of here. Okay, so I think everyone that's watched this video have gone from like interesting erections, nursing, crying now, or grandmothers passing on to the next plane. So that is beyond amazing. Mandy, I am beyond blown away by you. We're going to stop now, but you're not going to go anywhere, so don't worry. So for anyone that's like, oh my gosh, I need more Mandy, give us the whole rundown. Where can people stalk you and wear deodorant at? Not literally stalk you in person, but online, obviously.
Online. So Instagram's probably my best. I respond more to my Instagram messages than my Twitter messages just because I get so many on Twitter. So if you want that, and I always post my links and everything like that on my Instagram. Post little tidbits of, hey, you should subscribe. My OnlyFans definitely get the more one-on-one connection. And I do offer like video calls and stuff like that. So if you want the one-on-one, OnlyFans is definitely the place to go. But yeah, I have no problem. I've even been at the dirt bike track and people came up and they're just like, can we get a picture? So I have no problem taking pictures. If you see me out, don't be shy, don't be hesitant. Like we've been at a restaurant and they're just like, they've asked my son and he's just like, yeah, absolutely. Like we have no problem taking pictures as long as you're kind and courteous.
But Mandy Ray, I gotta just say, I think it's because you're hot, though. Like I think people want photos of you because you're hot. Like, or maybe it is both. I feel like you're gonna get genuine people that are like, that's a hot mom, and compared to the competition, yes, she is blowing everybody away. We need photos with her. No, maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe a little bit of both, but like I said, as long as you're kind and courteous, even when I'm out with my son, we have no issue with it. Just be respectful.
100%. Mandy, don't you go anywhere, but we're gonna fade away and let everybody read all this transcriptions, okay? Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, out of here.